Now to Capitol Hill, where Republicans are scrambling to avert a government shutdown in less than 36 hours. It's all because the president-elect and the richest man in the world decided to torpedo a bipartisan spending package. CNN's Lauren Fox is tracking all of the fallout on the Hill. Lauren, any strategy that is emerging from any corner of that building to try to stop the shutdown?
Dana, this is an incredibly fluid situation right now. Republicans are huddling, trying to have some discussions around what precisely could get enough votes in their conference to get over the finish line. But it's worth reminding everyone that typically you are going to need Democratic votes to put through any kind of spending bill, and especially one that might increase the debt limit. So right now, one of the key questions is, what are Democrats going to do? They huddled earlier this morning, and they've been pretty resolute in their view that they already negotiated an agreement. They released that agreement just 2 nights ago, and now they are in a position where they want to stick with the agreement that they struck. I mean, these things don't happen in a matter of hours, Dana. These kinds of negotiations take weeks and sometimes even months. This hard-fought negotiation was released on Tuesday night, and Democrats are arguing that is what they want to stick with. If Republicans want to have a conversation about increasing the country's debt limit, then they need to do that as a separate negotiation, not tack it onto something that was already fully fleshed out. So Democrats digging in right now, Republicans not clear on what their plan B is going to be, because again, there's a very limited majority in the House Republican Conference, and Mike Johnson has very little wiggle room, and he has a lot of frustrated members, people who might have been satisfied with this deal that was established on Tuesday night. You know, they are also working through the stages of grief right now.
That's well said. Lauren, thank you so much. Raise your hand if you see any white smoke anywhere. Appreciate it. I want to bring in an all-star panel of CNN reporters: Phil Mattingly, Kristen Holmes, Nia Malika Henderson, also Bloomberg, and Gloria Borger. Gloria, gosh, where to start with this?
What a mess.
You know, it was on this program this time yesterday that we had just seen the Elon Musk tweet, X, whatever you want to call it, basically saying, don't vote for this. And then it was just a few hours later that Trump and Vance said, oh yeah, what he said. And then
he said it would be criminal.
Well, okay, so let's, criminal, and also this is something I wanted to put up. This is one of the Truth Social quotes from Donald Trump late yesterday after Elon Musk started this about not voting for this. Anything else is a betrayal of our country. Anything else is a betrayal of our country. There you see it. So I just want to remind and underscore for our viewers, when he is talking about a betrayal of our country, he is talking about a very, as Lauren pointed out, delicate deal that was struck by his ally, the Speaker of the House, a fellow Republican, suggesting that what he wants to do is a betrayal.
Well, and don't forget what's in this bill. Disaster relief for those people who were victims of the hurricane, aid to farmers, for example. You know, there are things in this that people need and are going to depend upon. So to call it a betrayal to the country is absolutely absurd. And, you know, my question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Who came first, Elon Musk or Donald Trump? Who's the president-elect here, Elon Musk or Donald Trump?
Well, let's look at some people who were going on Elon Musk's very own platform asking that same question, Democrats. President-elect Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump want to shut down the government. Pramila Jayapal, it's clear who's in charge. It's not Trump. Shadow President Elon Musk spent all day railing against Republican CR, succeeded in killing the bill. Bernie Sanders saying that we've spent months negotiating this bipartisan agreement. The richest man on earth, President Elon Musk, doesn't like it. Will Republicans kiss his ring? The answer is yes. As we're talking, the actual president-elect, Donald Trump, is working the phones. He's been talking to some of our brethren, saying a couple of things. One is, if the government shuts down, it's Biden's fault. I don't know if that's going to sell. And also, this is a thing we haven't talked about, the debt ceiling. A big part of what Donald Trump is saying now is in order for any Republican to support this, it must increase the debt ceiling. And that is one of the many things that is anathema to many people in the House Republican Conference. They just don't vote for any increase in the debt ceiling.
Right.
Therefore, anytime that happens, you have to have Democratic votes. The Democrats are not playing ball right now.
Yeah, and I think it's important to do a couple things, step back and say, look, if Republicans have the majority in the House, if Mike Johnson could get all of his members on board for anything, then they could pass it, including whatever Donald Trump wants or whatever Elon Musk and Donald Trump want in tandem, or whatever Elon Musk wants that Donald Trump follows behind and wants as well. They've got the majority. The problem with that, of course, is they would still need 60 votes in the Senate, but they can't even get it over to the Senate right now because of things like that.
Yeah.
Also, to Gloria and Lauren's point, there are a lot of pieces within this deal that Republicans worked on as well. The farm aid is extraordinarily important. The disaster relief is extraordinarily important. There's also a lot of components in here that no one's talking about that were pet projects for Republicans, and I don't mean that in a pejorative way, that they were able to get in and let ride on this year-end deal that they cared deeply about. I think the piece of this that people need to recognize is like welcome. Welcome to what this is at this moment in time. And I understand that this is a very Democratic message right now with President-elect Elon Musk, and I think that they are a team right now. And there's an inside game and an outside game, and this is going to be the reality going forward. Now, throwing a debt ceiling into a baked negotiation, a baked agreement, essentially nukes it based on what we all know, having covered dozens upon dozens of these deals and standoffs over the course of the last couple of years. But we also have never seen an Elon Musk with his platform, with his push, with his support within the conference before. So I think I would urge folks to kind of step back a bit and widen the aperture and say, who knows? We don't know.
Yeah.
This is all very, very different. And this is also going to be the roadmap and playbook for what's ahead. This matters a lot right now.
And Kristen, the question about Johnson and negotiating this deal, which was done over months and months and months, my understanding from my reporting is Donald Trump, even though he doesn't get involved in the details, frankly, nor should he, he's not president yet, he was aware of the parameters of what's in this deal. Johnson kept him informed. I think Johnson knew that Donald Trump wanted to do away with the debt ceiling and get it off his plate, but maybe didn't understand the level of, well, that Johnson maybe didn't understand the level that he wanted to do it, but also that Trump doesn't really fully comprehend how difficult that is to do.
And I think that makes perfect sense, right? That he does not have any idea about the ins and outs and intricacies of what happens on the Hill. I also think it is silly to, this idea that Senator Hawley told Manu Raju last night that Trump said he was completely blindsided by some of the stuff in the bill. Johnson has been in lockstep with Donald Trump every step of the way. Johnson owes his entire speakership career to Donald Trump not stepping on him. I mean, we know that several of Trump's allies were coming to Trump and essentially begging him to help get rid of Johnson, and Trump stood by his side. So the idea that Johnson at some point went rogue is really just silly. I do think that the dynamic between Johnson and Trump, and now Elon Musk and Johnson and Trump, is one of the most fascinating parts of this entire story, because I do believe that up until yesterday, when you started seeing the pushback from Elon Musk on Twitter, Johnson thought he was cruising ahead. Despite whatever pushback he might have gotten from Donald Trump or even from some of the conservatives, he thought he had the speakership. He thought that he had this deal under control. He thought everything was coming together. Now you're seeing Donald Trump coming out and saying things like, well, if he can get this done, of course he should be speaker. I mean, this is a very different tone than what we've heard for the last several months from Donald Trump.
And I just want to put this up because not only did Elon Musk send out that first post, which sent everybody scrambling and really did torpedo this deal, he did I don't know, tens of, maybe even close to 100 follow-up, including this: no bills should be passed in Congress until January 20th when Donald Trump takes office. None, zero.
Yeah, which, I mean...
Also, that means I want the government to be shut down.
Yes.
And how are you going to have an inauguration or have a new Congress if the government is not open?
Yeah, Elon Musk does not understand how Washington works. He doesn't understand that there's a slim majority in the House. He doesn't seem to understand that Donald Trump's not president. He doesn't understand, presumably, that the Senate is controlled by Democrats at this point. But this unpredictable duo between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, what seemed to have happened is Elon Musk is out there tweeting on voraciously over an hour, dozens and dozens of tweets, and then Donald Trump follows behind him. Now Donald Trump is sort of rewriting the story and saying that he called Elon Musk and they talked about this. They were in agreement, and then he told Elon Musk, go ahead and tweet about it if you want to. I think it's unlikely. I think there's a little CYA going on with Donald Trump because it does appear that there is this sort of co-presidency going on here.
Well, who's in charge?
Yeah,
I mean,
who's
that's
in
the-
charge?
that's
Who's
the
leading?
question.
Yeah.
And that narrative, I'm just going to take a quick break. That narrative about
Who's in charge?
Elon Musk maybe being the president-elect, that isn't not sit well
Not going to sit
with
well with
Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
You think?